Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, tonight we got to talk about Ukraine again because I have a funny feeling we're going to be talking about this a whole lot in the future. Now, in the past 24 hours, to give you a short little timeline, the Ukrainian parliament has gone from, okay, you don't have a Second Amendment right, calm down, it's not that bad, to, okay, everyone can officially carry guns now, to, everyone get a gun right now. Do you have a pulse? Do you have an ID? Here's your AK. This is extremely fast, but there's a lot of things in here that are undermining years of gun control that we've heard in this nation. This is something that is so massively important to note from a context of what they've previously told us around how guns are not important. It's not important to defend against tyranny. It's not important to defend against invasion because that's impossible. It's 2022. Listen to the things I'm about to show you and look at the extremes that these people are going to go to because they did not have a Second Amendment built in. And this is more reinforcement as to why we will always maintain the Second Amendment and pass it along to the next generation. This is incredibly important because this is our time and this is a perfect case in point for our point going forward. Now, if you guys are new here, we are always looking to earn that subscription, so please make sure you join us. If you think we earned that subscription, we'd love to have you in the fold. We've got a goal of 400,000 subscribers by June 1st, and that is what we need. More people in the ranks to drive this forward towards 2022 and beyond. But let's dive into this. I want to hear what you guys think. Everything is linked in the description box below per usual. All right, so here's what we're talking about. Zelensky, Ukrainian president. Ukraine's starting to give weapons to citizens. Now keep in mind, this is not a state or a nation that has a Second Amendment built in. This is not a gun culture nation. This is a military has the guns. You can own guns, but it's not like a Second Amendment culture kind of thing like we have here. This is very important because if this exact same situation were to happen here, like I said in today's video, it would be a very different thing. You would have a standing army of about equal to our military in an hour. But I digress. Ukraine is starting to give weapons to all citizens who are able to defend Ukraine. So they've gone from, like I said, in a 24-hour period to, not so much, maybe if you follow the right criteria, to, okay, you now have officially the right to bear an arm in public, to, holy crap, everyone get a gun right this second because the Russians are coming, the Russians are coming. 24 hours. This is happening fast, guys, but let's check out what is this guy saying. Ukrainian President Zelensky said this at a briefing on Thursday, February 24th, according to a Ukrinform correspondent. That's a Ukrainian source. Quote, "We are already handing out weapons and will continue to do so for the protection of our land to all those who wish, to all those who are able to defend Ukraine," he said. Now, the important piece here, and this is the tie into the Second Amendment, because it's not just about the hardware. It's about the soft skills. You have entire populations in Ukraine picking up guns, maybe for the first time, maybe for the second time, learning how they function, learning how to be accurate. You've got supply chain issues because that demand didn't exist. The government is having to hand things out to these people who've never had combat experience. A lot of them never shot a gun before, and they're going to go up against a Russian army. Like, from a perspective of the Second Amendment, the idea is we are familiar with the platforms. We may not be battle-hardened, every one of us, but we're familiar enough where we won't have to have day one, this is the trigger. Day two, this is the bolt. Day three, good luck. And that's the really important piece. There's a very big distinction here. We're going to dive into this in a second because this is in the next article what one of the guys is saying from Ukraine. Ukrainians are lining up to collect guns as Russian invasion underway. This is from, I think, Washington Examiner from the 24th. So this is from today. Quote, "People have been lining up to collect guns that are being given out. Weapons that are being given out to the Territorial Defense Organization," Zamalasco said. "They are saying, okay, I went through my training, I'm ready to do my job." But that's the big important piece. In America, one of the things that we have is the right for Second Amendment. We have the ability to own these exact rifles that are being handed out to defend their homeland. We've had years of experience. That's an incredible advantage versus what the Ukrainians are going through right now. They're having to go from civilian to hardened military guerrilla fighter overnight. That is really, really not a great look, but listen to what else this guy says. He said ordinary civilians of all ages were prepared to defend their country with a resolve that overmatched Russian forces will likely lack. That could be true. The power of the heart is huge. Quote, "To me, that's the large differentiating factor," he told the Washington Examiner. When you are at war, a winner is determined by the will to fight. That is a big portion. But if you have one army that knows the ins and outs of an entire platform and they've trained their whole lives versus a civilian population that has picked up rifles for the first time, you're going to have a mismatch there, no matter the honor and the fight and the heart of the individual. Just saying, but this ties into our entire culture, the Second Amendment, the impetus behind why we have this, right? And this last one, I just want you guys to remember this. It's just for posterity's sake. You remember when Biden said, what's the point of having rifles? Why would you need these guns? You're not going to fight F-16s and nuclear weapons. You have no chance. What's the point? Remember that little chestnut? Listen to what he says here. This is the Ukrainian guy. Quote, given the right equipment and tactics, Ukraine can dramatically reduce the chances of a successful invasion. But they don't have F-16s and nukes because they gave away their nukes before Russia had their nukes still and said, ooh, opportunity. By combining serving military units with combat veterans, reservists, territorial defense units, and large numbers of volunteers, Ukraine can create tens of thousands of small and highly mobile groups capable of attacking Russian forces. This will make it virtually impossible for the Kremlin to establish any kind of administration over occupied areas or secure its lines of supply. He's talking about Mel Gibson's The Patriot or the Wolverines. You can take your pick. But the whole point here is, this is not backing up and bolstering the argument from the sitting president of the United States that says, well, if you don't have jets and nukes, you got nothing. Literally everything that we're seeing in real time is counteracting every single gun control argument. Take note of that, because when time comes and as this continues to develop, we're going to have a whole lot of real world examples to say, this is why. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments field below, and I will see you tomorrow morning on the Bullet Points. I'm Braden. See you later.